Dang, I don't know how to start no more. I should have practiced before we got on. So let me jazz myself up. I ain't got no music. Jazz
Welcome
myself
back.
up.
Been a long time. We shouldn't have left you.
Without a dope rhyme to step to. All right. Welcome back to Heartbreak State of Mind. I am your introist, KC, here with LaMarcus,
Live.
LaShawna,
What's good?
and we can't forget Trey. And Kennedy is not here with us, but she will definitely be joining us next episode. This is Heartbreak State of Mind. We've been going for a long time, y'all. Please welcome back to us and to you. Thank y'all for joining us. And we just gonna get into catching up because it's been a really long time. It's been about 7, 8 months since we recorded last.
Yeah. Tell them what we
So
doing. Tell them what we doing. We upgrading. We moving forward.
oh yeah. This is the first time we're doing video, y'all. Hi. This is my nice glowing face and beautiful smile. Welcome. And then, of course, y'all get to see the melanin. It's a lot of melanin on the screen right here. We black, just in case y'all ain't know. There's a lot of N-words going left and right. You know what I'm saying? A lot of black struggle talk. You know what I'm talking about? And
I know my lighting is kind of dim, but I'm a traveler, so maybe
yeah,
episode I have better lighting for y'all, so y'all can absorb this.
LaMarcus be on the road a lot, just in case y'all ain't never heard, which I'm pretty sure y'all know since we talked about it a couple times on the pod.
That's why
Everybody, what was that, LaMarcus?
I'm getting fat.
Oh, ain't nothing wrong with a little weight. Just don't put on too much weight.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying, brother.
All right, so LaMarcus, since we on you, what you been up to, my guy?
Yeah, man. For me, it's just been trying to solidify myself in my work field. Uh, this year is a very trying year for me. I got a lot to accomplish this year and a lot to achieve this year to move forward in that goal. So that's really high up on my priority list. Um, Still trying to see more of the world, travel more, do more, experience more. So that's like second and third on my priority list, and this right here, man, good times, good conversation with people that I enjoy talking to and sharing ideas with, and I actually have these conversations outside of you all. Shout out to some of my coworkers. They love our podcast, or they love talking to me about it. So, uh, this is gonna be an upgrade and a step up for that. So that's gonna be fun, and hopefully that gives us more content so we can start spewing into the universe.
Welcome back, sir. And let's get to the first lady of Heartbreak State of Mind, LaShawna.
What's
What you had
up?
going on? What you been up to?
You know, making it through the winter, making sure my back don't get too big. But other than that, just working on some personal goals with my personal brand, spending some time with the family, getting ready for the summertime. That's really all I really kind of been doing. Winter is a really time where I just hibernate, kind of lay low a little bit, find ways to do some things I enjoy. So that's pretty much what I've been up to.
Welcome back, First Lady.
I
Trey,
love it.
what you got
Yep.
going on, my dude?
Man, it's been straight recovery for me. It's been a very long process. Almost a year of a lot of surgeries and physical therapy, chiropractor. So it's just me trying to really get back to 100%. Had a real bad accident last year that kind of had me down bad. So like I said, just trying to recover from all that. Uh, Birthdays. Got a 1 year old and 3 year old now, so trying to still be participant in their lives, on a more constant basis. But also, like I said, just trying to take care of myself. So, like I said, just trying to get back to 100%.
First off, congratulations on the newborn. I think he was here when we were still recording.
Not the
Ain't no
newborn. He a grown man now.
Ain't no grown.
He a big 1-year-old.
Ain't no newborns.
Yeah. Oh no, at one, they still new.
With boys, they ain't new no more. You ready to send them back?
Yeah.
All right, and with that, y'all, let's go ahead and move on
Hold
to our
on.
first topic.
Oh, you just you was sliding on by.
Right.
So what's going on, KC?
I was trying, y'all.
The fan favorite.
Am I?
Yeah.
Nah. Not too much been going on. Work been steady. Paper been going up. Always a good thing. But heartbreak state of mind. It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah. My boy said, I'm getting a bag, though. He said, the coin's going up. I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Well, like I said, heartbreak state of mind. It's definitely been a struggle with, let's just say, an all-encompassing word, love for me. But so try some things.
I ain't gonna skip over that.
I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of stories, right? A lot of stories from that.
Sure, definitely. You know, y'all know I ain't shy on the pod, so I try to be as open, as honest as possible. But yeah. It's try some things, just didn't work. Try another thing, it didn't work. Had a thing going really well, and it's up in the air right now. So we'll see how it go.
It sound like KC the one who been having like, you know what I'm saying? We just like, yeah, I'm just focusing on Michelle, execute some goals. KC been outside.
I definitely been outside, and with that, I'm gonna just take a shot and we can move on. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all. We got 2 topics for y'all today. If y'all don't know this, we're gonna kind of switch up the formula a little bit. So we're gonna have topics generally, and then we're gonna have some offshoot conversations that might involve other people with LaMarcus and his segment, Everyday People. And then, of course, y'all know culture clips. Gra. That's gonna be coming back to y'all any day now. Just stand by. If it's something hot going on in the world, we definitely gonna talk about it. And LaShawna, did you have a segment? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I ain't had one. Triggers and trauma. I like that. I like that. Little therapy session. Sit on my couch.
Triggers and traumas with LaShawna. Ooh, that kind of rhyme.
I love it. Write that down.
Today we got 2 topics for y'all that we're gonna get into. Some things that we seen on the internet that seem very much topical, as we like to talk about. And so another podcast, pretty good one. Had some great conversations. 8 at the Table, y'all ever heard of it?
Yeah.
They had a very interesting conversation about $47,000. Does somebody care to explain?
Well, Shauna, you always like the best to explain everything.
Really? So a woman posed the question, a viewer posed the question and said that she wanted to know if she was wrong because she had been like stashing some money to the side, upwards to $47,000, because her mom always told her that you always need a nest egg in case, you know what I'm saying, your husband decides to leave you, or, you know, you need an escape plan. When you need to leave him, you got a little something to leave him with. But the issue comes in because the wife never really worked. At a point, she had like a little part-time job, or whatever, but the husband like got hurt at work. And so he was out of work, couldn't do what he usually do. He ended up getting another job, working like 2-3 jobs to provide, and it just wasn't meeting the expectations enough for the lifestyle that they usually live. So he came to his wife and was like, "Hey, babe, like I think we need to downsize our house. Like it's just me and you right now. I'm not making no money. We're like I'm over our head in bills." And she like, "Well, I'll get a little part-time job." And he like, "Even if you get a part-time job, it can't sustain us." But she never told him about the 47K that she had to the side, nor did she ever offer the 47K to make sure that they could pay the bills and get ahead so her husband didn't have to work the 2-3 jobs. So she wanted to know, was she wrong for still hiding the 47K, because her husband started going through the budget, going through the bank account, because usually she handles all that. He bring the money home, she makes sure everything is taken care of, and he was like, it looks like every month there's a certain amount of money that's missing. Like, where is that money going? Did you notice that? And she's skimming it off the top because she putting it in the other account to make sure she had her nest egg, and her husband was really, really hurt about it. And she wants to know, is she wrong? Is she a horrible person for doing that?
So
I
thank
have
you, Lashana, for the explanation. Appreciate it so much. First question I want to ask everybody is, do y'all think it's okay to put money aside and keep it from your significant other? Is it okay in any circumstance?
No. I think it's okay to put money to the side. I think it's not okay to put money to the side and not let your significant other know that you got money on the side. What are you hiding it for?
fuck all that.
I think you should be transparent about it.
His money, because if she was
I mean,
only
we're
working a
married,
part
so
time
it's
gig,
their money together.
now no, but it was when it was.
I mean,
her
when you're
fund, it was her money.
Yeah, but she was wrong. If we're married and my husband is working and paying the bills and saying, "Babe, you don't have to work," that doesn't mean that he has money and I don't. We both have money. We're a family. We're partners. We're one.
But I'm saying
I
she
don't
was
think there's nothing
stashing
wrong
away
with putting money to the side.
his money. She wasn't stashing away her money that she made from her part time gig.
So
It doesn't matter where the money was coming from. I don't think the problem is the fact that she was putting money to the side. The problem is she was being deceitful about it. Goes back to what Casey asked. Is it okay to put money to the side and not tell your significant other about it?
Trey,
So,
would you
Oh,
put?
LaMarcus was about to say something.
Oh yeah, go ahead, LaMarcus.
so my first question I was gonna pose was the same question Trey posed. Is it money being taken out of the money that he made? Because I know you said she did have a part-time job. So the question goes to, if this is your personal, she called it, not my words, escape money or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If this is your personal escape fund or whatever you want to call it for your personal use in case things go bad in the relationship or between you two, and you need to escape, because I'm pretty sure that's where the word comes from, the phrase comes from, why would he be funding that? So you should build that account off of the money that you make. Uh, now, don't get me wrong, Sean. I agree with what you're saying. In a relationship, especially in marriage, the household money is the household money.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're creating an agenda, not saying that you're planning to do something, but it's a plan. You're planning that if something goes wrong, you plan on taking this money that you've put aside to benefit you on getting apart from the relationship, the husband, the situation, whatever, what have you. So, if that's the case, I feel like you should be funding that plan. With that being said, if you're completely funding that plan and you're taking a little bit out of your checks to create that account, and it's not affecting the household, not affecting the bills, it's not like, dang, why you short on this bill this month, or why you can't pay this bill this month, or whatever it is, then that's your prerogative. Now, whether or not that should be shared amongst each other, that's opinionated. That's subjective because you know some people have significant others that have a little bit of power or pull, and that may affect them being able to get away, let's say, from an abusive relationship. So, uh,
But I not from a subjective level. Would you be okay if your wife did it?
if it, like I said, if it didn't affect the household and that's an account that she was creating, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with
As
that.
long as it's
But
as long as it's her money that she bringing in from her check.
And it don't
Yes.
affect the house. Nothing,
but let's
nothing
say the
In your case,
household
not
in
being
this
ours.
circumstance. Hold up. Everybody talking at once. Hold
go
on.
ahead.
Let's say in this circumstance, just like this circumstance, but unlike this circumstance, it's her money. But let's say the household is in need. Like we still together, we still working this out, we still supposed to be husband and wife. Where are you at with these funds that you have on the side? Can you not help our situation out?
And
Yeah.
that lets you know what kind of significant other you're dealing with. And we talked about this on a previous podcast about, I guess we were speaking about man. I think it was one of the podcasts about uh man paying majority or all of the bills and the woman having her own money, whatever. Uh, this is one of those situations. Okay, you've built this account. We're in need. This is your time to step up and help out the relationship like you would want me to do if you were on the other end of it and you decide, no, I'm not going into this fund because this fund is for me to get away from the relationship if I have to. So now, where's your priorities? Like, what is more important to you, having this fun or making this relationship work?
My
It
thing
helps.
is but it's dead wrong to like watch your partner like struggle
Right.
and not like y'all are partners. Like, and I feel like people should be more selective about who they marry. I don't feel like I should marry someone that I feel like I gotta be deceptive with or hide certain things with. If I'm gonna have an escape fund on the side, I'm gonna tell my husband, listen, sometimes it gets a little rocky. So I put a little something to the side just to
Hmm.
let him know. But I'm not gonna watch the man I love work his finger to the bone to work all those jobs knowing that I got a little something on the side. You at least could drop 20 bands and keep 27 if it's that big of a deal.
So y'all don't think that this woman has done her due diligence? She saved the money that she needed to save, put it on the side, did the work. Although she did not tell her husband,
Mm-hmm.
she made an asserted effort to build an account and not even touch it. Let it
Mm-hmm.
sit, let it build. Now, do y'all think it's the man is wrong for not even like, okay, the wife, she had this account, she kept it from him, she was building it off his back. Y'all think he jumped the gun, let's say, on dipping out? Because at the end of the story, it was saying that, oh, he heard it and then he left to stay with his brother. Y'all don't think he jumped the gun? Y'all don't think they could have worked out the situation?
No, and I'm not speaking for Shauna, but this is when you realize who you with. Like your
Yeah.
first mind, your first thought should have been, okay, we gonna sit down, see what we got, see what we dealing with. If this money is gonna help us through the situation, then this money's gonna help us through the situation. This man went and got extra jobs and doing all of this, and you still got the same amount sitting in your account. The math ain't mathing.
Y'all
So
don't
Yeah.
think
then,
she was trying to
so look,
The money
so
should have
look.
been
This is what
right when he got hurt.
now you done got hurt from work. So imagine you hurt to the point where you got to wait on disability to come through, and you got to do all this litigation before you start getting that income coming back through, and the bills are piling up, and y'all falling deeper into the hole until your money comes through. When you could have been head above the water until your money came through, and then maybe things would have smoothed out. My thing
Yeah.
is, you know, as the man, you know, we gonna do what we gotta do. We gonna provide. We gonna work. you know what I'm saying, to help our situation, meaning, you know, the man and the woman, help our situation. You know what I mean? But if we fall short and something drastic like this happens, we are really hoping that the person we chose to be our life partner is going to step up for us like we would have done for them.
And like
All
he
this
was
man's
doing for
first,
her.
right, and this man's first thought was to work harder. Like, okay, I can't work the job that I was working, but these jobs allow me to work with my injury or whatever it was. So I'm gonna get these jobs to help us carry on. But her mind was, well, I'll wait till those checks come in. Like, the math ain't math.
Yeah. I think they could work it out, but it'll probably never be the same.
Now I'm thinking this was her mindset. I think Lupe Fiasco once said, "Being poor teach you how to be humble, but being poor also teach you how to hustle." I think her mindset was, "Hey, let me see what he can do in this time of need
No.
before I even put a foot forward." Because
Yeah.
I think we can get through this. I think my man, because she ain't never step out on him. She just withheld.
All right, you
But
step out.
that's still problematic because you're putting your man in a position that can hurt his mental health, his physical health, because he's working so hard. Your job as a wife is to make his life easier, being a helpmeet. Like, it's not, all right, let me see what you gonna do. It's no, I'm not even gonna let you go through that. That's crazy. Like, to test your husband like that. Like, you gonna watch this man come home and be dead tired because he wants to make sure as the man he's taking care of the household. Like, that's crazy.
And then comes the, oh, we not going out on dates. Oh, you always tired. Oh, you're not loving on me the same. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That kind of falls into that cycle for real. And then at the same time, what if it was a stroke? What if it was paralyzed? So
Yeah.
what you think her plan is if you were to get paralyzed and unable to work? You think she finna, oh, okay, well, it's time for me to wipe your ass. Nah, it's time for me to get the fuck on because ain't nothing else we could do. We can't have sex. You ain't bringing nothing in the house. Nah, I gotta completely take care of you. No. And I always tell y'all, the one you want to marry is the one you think gonna wipe your ass at the end of the day. That's the one you want to make your life partner. Your friends gonna pass away. As you get older, you're gonna lose friends, you're gonna lose contact, whatever. They gonna move, they gonna have their own lives. At the end of the day, when you need somebody to wipe your ass, that's who you want it to damn be. They done
I
seen you in your most vulnerable moments, and you done seen them in their most vulnerable moments. So for them,
right.
you know, if y'all ever watched that My 600 Pound Life, them dudes be wiping ass. They be water hosing. But that's what you want. Like, you want somebody to that love you so much that they will wipe the shit from your ass. As vulgar as
What?
that might sound. At the end of the day.
I mean, I just feel like even as a woman, if my husband did something like that to me, like, it would be hard for me to come back from that.
I was just about to ask
And
Sean,
you listen
your
to your
husband
mama,
money.
come on. Like, your husband has not shown you any signs of being unsafe. Now, if you are unsafe, this man abuses you or something like that, by all means, keep that money so you can get up out of there. But this man has shown no ifs, ands, and buts about the fact that he'll take care of you and make sure that y'all are good, even when his body is broken down. And you gonna listen to your mama who's probably single. Honestly.
And
Mama probably
projecting
single.
her fears onto you.
Exactly. Mama
Yeah,
don't have a man.
I think she was holding it down, y'all. I think eventually, if it got to the point where she knew, okay, okay, my husband can't do it no more. He's done.
Mm-hmm.
He
Casey,
can't
I
do
hope
it.
you don't marry this woman, okay?
I think she would have stepped up eventually.
What's the point?
When was she gonna step up? The time
Yeah,
to step
that's
up
what
was
I'm
when he
asking.
had them 3 jobs.
He said if it got to the point, what's the point? Like
Right, we are at the
what is the point?
point.
Is it when he about to
No.
commit suicide? Is it when he like down
When he
on
has
his aching knees?
right, he has a brain aneurysm because that man under so much stress. Like, no,
What's the point?
She believed in him. She believed in him, y'all.
Man,
She
stop
yeah.
believed in
The
him.
sad thing is he believed in her and he probably shouldn't have. That's the problem. And I ride for the ladies, but no,
I thought I was
there's
gonna have
no
to put
way.
on my suit, boy. I was ready to go to court. I thought I was gonna have to put on my suit,
Nah,
boy.
I can't even rock with that. Like, I hate stuff like that. Like, when you're married, you're in a partnership. If you wanted to do that, just date that man and be single. And have that safety of, well, I'm not married to him, so I could peel out anytime I get ready to. But when you marry somebody, you literally make a covenant and an agreement that no matter what, we facing life hand in hand together. And if you ain't ready for that, you need to stay single and just date or be in a relationship.
I want to know if we
That made me want to go into an off topic.
can.
But I'll refrain. I'll add that to the next docket.
No, go
So
to it.
so
We only got 2 topics tonight.
I was gonna say, so
34
do y'all
minutes.
think the covenant, the bond of marriage is taken too lax these days?
Absolutely.
Y'all think it's just a convenience for some people?
Mm-hmm.
You think it's just a business?
I think it's just a title.
Sometimes it's just
Sometimes.
sometimes
Yeah,
it's just a title,
sometimes.
a status.
Yeah.
It's not
But I
really
also
like. Go ahead, Sean.
No, I was gonna say, but I also think some people genuinely get into it thinking that they cut out for it and they prepare for it, and they realize they really not, because they got into it for some surface level reasons, not understanding this is deeper than just us going on trips and couples trips and, having people over at the house. Like, a lot of people don't even like the person they lay down with every night and married to. They don't like them. They don't like talking to them. I mean, women, at the end of the day, sometimes women get married for stability. And baby, the way the bills is coming, I understand it.
So what do you think is more of men's fault or more of women's fault these days?
I think
It's a shared response. It's a shared fault. It's a shared.
What?
It really is, because you got some women that, like I said, they do it for the status and the look of it. Like, you don't want nobody saying, "Oh, you shacked up with that man," or "You living with that man and y'all ain't married," or "You doing this for that man, you doing that for that man and y'all ain't married." Then for the man, sometimes it's security, like, locking a woman in, locking a woman down. Like, I think it's shared. You know what I'm saying? That could be vice versa as well. So, you know, same thing go for the men, go for the women. So I think I think it's shared, and Shauna's right. Sometimes it's very surface level. You know what I'm saying? But, sometimes it's real serious.
Yeah.
What do you think, Trey?
Can y'all hear me?
Is because I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say,
Do you hear me?
just like off the top of my dome, just thinking about it very surface level. I think fault is such a hard word, but I'm gonna say I think it's these days and age, this day and age. I think it's more so women's fault that a relationship fails more often. Not a relationship, a marriage fails more often. I'm gonna say because this day and age, back in the day,
I'm gonna
come on,
hear you out.
come on, walk with me, and tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay. Okay.
So back in the day, for women, it was more of a responsibility. They felt like it was something they had to do. They had to get in a relationship because that's what was expected of them. However far you want to go back, you can go back to the 50s, 20s, 1800s. It was more
Mm-hmm.
of a responsibility. It was a expectation in it. This day and age, women they have the freedom to choose more so than they ever did, and it's not necessarily expected of them to get married. Now,
You said it's
different
not
cultures
them getting
get
married.
other things. No, it's necessarily not expected. They have more choice in the matter, which is a good thing. That's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. But I think, and especially in American culture, women have been fed this fantasy of marriage, this fantasy of their prince in shining armor, and they more so grow up. I've seen it many times. Hey, you're gonna be my prince, and we're gonna get married, and then you're gonna be my king. And so a lot of women fantasize about marriage. They fantasize about marriage, and then they get into marriage with the wrong person, and then they don't see the signs because they're so kind of blinded
So,
by.
are those same men aware that they're in a marriage with the wrong person?
Men aren't necessarily looking at it in that aspect.
Well, not looking
Okay,
for.
but that's problematic.
No. Men they will bypass many of women before they even consider marriage. So, like I said, it's been built into this society. Going back to that word that I used to use back in the day, it's built in that men they're the choosers. So if they see anything in a woman that they don't like, they eventually narrow women down. They go through so many more choices than women do. Whether that's a good or a bad thing, whether that's a good and a bad thing, it's something that happens. So they are more so when they lock in a woman, and I'm not necessarily talking about people that marry young, but even men that marry young have probably been through so many women. And so they have more of an idea what the woman that they want looks like. And it might not necessarily be like the best choice. It might be the woman that's more submissive, more gonna take care of the household, more gonna rear children, more controllable. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but that's what they look for. And so they look for that woman, and then that woman is only looking at the aspect of, hey, this is the guy. This is my knight in shining armor. He wants me. It's going so well up front. Ignoring all the red flags. Oh, he just wants somebody submissive. He wants somebody that's gonna cook, somebody that's gonna clean, that's gonna rear his children, and then stay at home.
I think that's an old view. Women these
Pretty
days
much.
are getting statistically married later.
Mm-hmm.
Women aren't like, yeah, there are some women, but a lot of women do not romanticize marriage. They're more like, honestly, I can do this by myself. Like, I'll date you, I'll do all of that, but I'm not trying to marry you because, especially black women, especially black women. Now, if we're just talking about women of
Women in
other
general.
cultures, yes. But black women are definitely getting married later, being a little more selective, and also feeling like sometimes the older they get, men are not on their level to marry. It's like, why would I marry you? What do you have to offer that I don't already have myself? So I don't think it's anybody's fault. I actually agree with Mr. Black Cup that it's a shared responsibility because both people have to choose each other. And sometimes I think men also have an idea of what a wife is supposed to be. And it's really not always, it's like silent expectations. And that woman that you marry may not understand the expectations that you have. And now you're upset because she's not up cooking breakfast and lacing heels.
That's all I wanted though. And you did
Well, you
that
sh-
at the beginning.
I think that needs to be the conversation of, hey, this is something I like and this is something that I expect to be a thing throughout.
You
It,
don't
it,
think if you did that up front, that I would be expecting that later on in life?
Nah, you start getting that.
Um,
That's just those little Walmart gowns.
I think it depends. I think you should maybe keep up with some things, but if we were to be honest, the longer you're with somebody, usually you get familiar, both men and women, because you're probably not doing the things for her that you used to do, because now she get on your nerves more. Now that it becomes a petty, well, she ain't doing this, so I'm not about to be doing this. And he ain't doing this, so I ain't about to do this. And it's just a mess of failed expectations. Because I don't think marriage is necessarily hard. I think that marriage takes a level of getting rid of pride and ego. And that's what's hard. And most people have that. And they go into the marriage because the thing is, when you got pride and ego, like no amount of sex is going to cover that. No amount of lace and heels is going to cover that. It's going to come times where you don't like your spouse that much. But would you want to do life with anybody else? I get tired of talking to married people and they like, ooh, wait, don't get married. Like, it's so hard and it's so this. And I'm like, well, why is it hard?
Maybe you don't need to be married.
Because you got pride, you got ego. Yeah, and a lot of times it's, well, I'm not going to say nothing and I'm not going to do this. And it's like, that's childish. You're immature in that area. But that person can't call you out because then everybody's defensive. Pride and ego. It's a lot of work that has to be done before you get married that we don't talk about. And then work that has... Do you know how hard it is to not walk in pride and ego? Like, it's very difficult to communicate when you feel like somebody's trying you. When you feel like somebody's not talking to you properly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you were somebody out in the street, I would handle you totally differently.
Yes.
When someone keeps bringing up your flaws and you feel underappreciated, how do you put your pride and ego aside to say, listen, as a man, you look at your woman and say, I feel like you don't appreciate me, and because of that, it's affecting the way that I see myself. I don't feel good enough. Most people can't do that.
That's at that point when you say, fuck it.
That ain't how it works. When you got investments together, we got this house, we got these bills together. And do we, I tell married women, listen, unless it's something really beyond your control, girl, work it out. Because paying 100% of the bills by yourself is not cute. Even if you going 50-50, baby, that's a come up. Unless that man put his hands on you, unless that man is like really disrespecting you or something like that, a lot of stuff honestly can be fixed if you take your pride out of it. So,
do you think a lot of people or a lot of marriages end because it's not necessarily them putting their pride into it, but their pride getting boosted by other people in the relationship? And more so than most circumstances is somebody in their family telling them otherwise. Whether that's a marriage or a relationship, do y'all think that people should have their family or close friends involved in their relationship?
Absolutely not. Keep people out your business. Your friends, your homegirls, your homeboys. I don't think it's anything wrong if y'all both can agree on a trusted party that is objective. But me personally, I don't want people in my business. I love my mama, I love my homegirls, but we are a united front. When we face the world, we are aligned. We might be going through a difficult time at home, and I might get in that car and be like, look. But it's always a united front because a lot of times you share things with people. Number one, they put their own perception and their fears and project what they've been through onto you. Or you share things and you and your spouse have gotten over it and your family's still holding on to it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hold up, Lashana. You're too well spoken. Everybody gonna agree with you. Trey,
Play
What you think?
devil's advocate then.
I
Trey,
feel
what
like
you think? How involved should somebody be, your family? Let's say your family be involved in your relationship.
I think it's two sides of
How
it.
much? How much? I'm gonna say this more. How much should you confide in your family?
Oh, I think you can confide as much as you feel like you're comfortable confiding with that particular individual. I think at the end of the day, sometimes you just be wanting to vent and you just be needing to vent. It's not necessarily I'm looking for a response. I'm not looking for a solution or stuff like that. I'm just looking to get this out. And if I can't get it out to the person that I'm trying to get out to, or maybe they're not understanding or comprehending what I'm saying to them, it's not affecting me, like I said, me going outside to want to look for advice or looking for somebody to coach me or something like that. It's just me needing to get it out. So now I can come back to the situation. If I see a situation that's going on, something like that, I'm able to come back with a fresher mind or a different point of view or stuff like that. Like I say, I agree a lot with Lashana. Like definitely keep your business inside your house, especially if you know, like I said, that individual is always gonna say, "Oh, well, why are you with this person?" Or you always want to, downplay who I'm with, whatever case like that. But you already know who you're talking to. You know every individual when you go talk to them and what their response is gonna be. You know if they like the individual you with or not. So like I said, it's just more so like I said, knowing who to go to, like I said, having that conversation to get the emotion out. It's not necessarily like I said, going with the intent of okay, I'm looking for advice. I'm looking for, like I said, for you to, be in my corner. Like, no, if I go to somebody, I want to go to somebody that's like I said, knows gonna give me the truth if I'm looking for advice, or somebody that's just gonna be that listening ear for me. But like I said, overall, like allowing everybody into the situation, no, I don't believe in that. Like it's definitely particular individuals I feel like I'm comfortable with talking to this situation to, and particular conversations I'm not talking to him to. That makes sense. Hello.
My husband gotta have a therapist.
He gotta have a therapist. That's a requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why y'all got
Hold
there?
up. We're gonna get back to you, Lashana. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go. Mr. Black Cup. So let's say, like Trey said, you got these certain individuals you want to talk to who great listeners. They give certain advice. So when does their experience match up with what you're experiencing? When do you listen to those individuals?
Uh, well, I think that when you say listen to them, I think that everything is done in moderation. So, uh, it's okay to confide in people. Like Trey says, it's okay to confide in people and vent and let them know how you feeling and come to people for advice that you trust on how you should approach a situation. Maybe you don't approach situations in a conducive matter that gets over the situation, but more so creates more adversity in the situation. So maybe you confide in them to get a different perspective on how you should approach it. Maybe you look up to how they handle their relationship and you seek that advice from them because you feel like they can offer you the advice that will help you be more uh, communicative in your relationship. Um, However, like Lashana said, you have to be careful who you talk to because these individuals love you more than they love the person that you love. So they want the best for you. They want they prioritize your happiness over this person's happiness. That's one. Also, some people don't have your best interest at heart. They don't have you prioritize your happiness prioritized. Sometimes they want to backdoor you. Sometimes they want what you have. Sometimes they feel like they can do better than what you're doing. So in those aspects, you have to be careful who you confide in, family, friends, what have you. Uh, I heard Shauna mention uh, a therapist. Me personally, I'm not. I'm just not too keen on therapists. I understand getting opinionated uh, advice from a person that's outside and objective to the situation. However, they may not be objective to your way of handling things. They may feel like you have to handle things like this in order for things to go this way. They haven't been with the person that you with. They don't know that person's mannerism. They don't know that person's attitude. They don't know that person's way of communicating. They're going off of what you tell them and maybe what they tell them. And this is their opinionated advice. So when you feel like you're getting the best advice possible because you go to a therapist or what have you, it's okay to help you all communicate without escalating the situation and trying to hear each other's point out. But to follow anyone's advice, is something you have to be very cautious of doing because it, you two are in that relationship. I sleep next to you, you sleep next to me. I've however long we've been in this relationship, I've listened to what you said to me, and you've listened to what I said to you. So you know how I am, and I know how you are. So we need to find a way to communicate to each other, regardless of what advice is being given to us. If the advice is on, if the advice is about how to communicate and how to hear each other, fine. But advice on what you should do or what you shouldn't do, I don't think is it. I think is all opinionated and subjective. So
Yeah. I say therapy because therapy is really not about what the other person is doing as much as helping you to be a better version in a situation. So it's about you taking an introspective look at yourself from an objective person because maybe it's, hey, you know what? Maybe I'm unloading on my spouse, and instead of I've held all these different things, and now I'm bringing 4, 5, 6 different things, and as a woman bringing that to a man, y'all mind does not calculate all those things. After one or two, you're honestly you're mentally checked out. So my therapist would be able to help me to identify that in me so that I can take a different approach with you. And I think marriage is about that as opposed to looking at the other person and saying what they should have done and what they should do. And it's like, how can I even be better for the both of us? And then that person is having the same approach that you come together and it becomes better.
sometimes, but my whole thing is sometimes you feel like you're over compromising to not start an argument or to not fire up your partner so that y'all can communicate. Sometimes you're coming with the open mind, the open ears, willing to listen, and your partner is in a defensive mode. So their
Right.
response to you is not conducive until y'all having a a a, equal and understanding conversation. So
Yeah.
you can identify that in yourself and you can fix that. However, if that's not being received by the person you're trying to communicate with, you're falling on deaf ears. So
So
that's why I
as a
said
man, oh, go ahead.
no. So that's why I said it's it's okay to have that mediation and being able to hear each other in a space where we can't start just all right, fuck it. Get loud and walk away. That's
Mm-hmm.
okay. But at the end of the day, you have to put pride aside, put ego aside, and hear me out. And I have to do the
Mm-hmm.
same. We have to
Right.
find a way to communicate with each other inside the confines of
Right.
these walls. We can't always
Right.
run to somebody else to get that mediation. We have to find that and create that in our relationship so that we are able to communicate effectively at all times.
So as men, when you feel like your partner is not hearing you out, and when you bring something to them, they get triggered, how do you handle that? Like, what's your approach?
I mean,
Yeah.
for me personally,
Hmm?
What was the
I don't
question?
think Trey heard you. Say it again.
I said, as men, when your partner is not hearing you out and they're getting triggered or defensive about what it is that you're saying, what approach do you take with that?
Oh, I ain't got no partner.
When you have had a partner.
I think for me and probably for most men, it's a shut. It's a complete shutdown. It's just like, you know what, you're not hearing me, or you don't want to hear what I'm saying, and I don't know how else to communicate this to you. So it's kind of like, all right, you know,
Mm.
like because for most men, and that's where the word, that's where uh the idea that women nag come from, because women don't mind keep talking about it. They don't mind keep reiterating themselves.
We love to keep talking about
Right.
it.
So for men, that might come off as a nag because we've shut down. We're done with it. Like the communication isn't happening. I'm not getting nowhere. You're pushing your objective onto me. So I'm not going to keep pushing back at you because it's just going to be a constant conversation, and even if you stop and listen to me, it's going to be. But what I'm saying is, so you know what I'm saying. For most men, we shut down and we like, all right, whatever. All right,
That's
have you.
me. I ain't gonna lie, I shut down. I'm not about to continue to go back and forth with you.
That's what I'm saying. So, I'm not saying that's a healthy way to handle it, but we don't harbor the ability to push push a brick wall. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not in us. You know what I'm saying? Uh,
Alright.
think I don't think that's just. I think that's what makes us shut down pretty much.
Casey?
On the whole topic with family, because I feel like y'all went into therapy a lot.
No,
Hey,
I asked a
we had
specific
triggers
question
and
about
traumas.
how do you handle your woman?
Hmm? Okay. Go. What's the question, Lashana?
Nah. I said when your partner is not hearing you out and you feel like they're being triggered or defensive, like what's your approach with your partner?
My approach honestly is to before I'll just say this. When I feel like I'm not being heard, or let's say somebody's being real aggressive with me, I
Mm-hmm.
know it's a young response, but it's still like a response I have often because I try not to get into conflict a lot, and when I do, it's more like a oh, conflict is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Push. It's a
So
bad
you
response.
fight or flight, you flight.
Yeah, yeah. Fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to fight.
Mm-hmm.
So you
So
aggressive
more
back.
so. Say that again, Lamarcus.
I say you push back. You get aggressive back.
Yeah, I'm a pushback. A lot of the times I can like brush stuff off, but if it's to a point to where you're yelling and you're pushing accusations, I'm gonna defend myself. Honestly, I
Mm-hmm.
put it in a situation I had in Publix not too long ago. Somebody was accusing me of not seeing their perspective and pushing my perspective on them, and I was just like, "Yo, that's not what it is." And they said, "No, this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing." So I got this fuck it that pop up.
Mm.
No, this is what I'm trying to say. No, you need to do this. No, this is what's happening. And so it's not like super aggressive, but it like comes off. I can see it can come off as aggressive or fight scenario. But as far as what was your question again, Lashana?
How do you approach? You already done told us how you approach that woman. You approach her by, look, you jab, I'm jabbing back. Mayweather, let's do it.
But most of the time, I can take stuff. I mean, I can take stuff. I'm like, okay, this is how you feel. Okay. But once you start like pushing, once you start pushing buttons, I'm gonna push buttons back. Not saying I'm gonna be like, hey, I'm not gonna hit below the belt. I'm gonna hit where you hit it.
You see
So
Sean
you
over there
matching
taking
energy.
notes. Just like
I mean,
energy and for
I
you.
appreciate the transparency.
Hmm?
Huh?
What'd you say, Trey?
I said, you see LaShawn over there taking notes, like, so you do what again? Okay.
I think I would say this, and I think for men approaching women, I use this sector with people, like, because I'm not going back and forth, but like, what is it that's triggering you right now? Like, what is it that you're feeling? And a lot of times is almost all the time it's more about how they're perceiving it, and they usually feel attacked. All right, you feel attacked. Tell me why you feel attacked.
But you gotta think, most of the time, most people haven't been through therapy, and they don't. Both parties don't know, like, hey, this is what the other person's feeling. They're only
So
feeling
this is
what
what
they're
you
feeling
should
at the
do.
moment.
You should ask. Too many times I see in relationships that people create narratives in their mind about why a person is acting the way they act, instead of simply asking the question, hey, what about this conversation is triggering you? Why are you triggered? And then that gives you the opportunity to state, hey, listen, my intent is not to attack you, but this is also how I'm feeling, and it's important to me that we get to a resolve. A lot of times people just need to hear, like, no, especially for as a man, you gotta be like, no, we gonna get through this. Like, I don't want us arguing like this. It affects me when we argue like this. So let's talk about why we're triggered. And that kind of brings the defensives down versus both people feeling like, because you go into protection mode, like, oh, now I gotta, you know what I'm saying? I gotta put my guard up because you jabbing, and then I gotta jab you back. Sometimes it's just about gaining clarity before you even get into what the issue is. Tell me, what are you feeling right now in this moment? And then you affirm the person. It could be, well, I feel like you just don't appreciate me. I'm doing this, this, and this. And then you affirm the person, say, no, I do appreciate you. And that brings the defenses down. That's just a little nugget. That's all. It works. It works. Because sometimes men get defensive. Sometimes as a woman, when you tell a man something, he like, don't let it be one thing. Like, bro, I do da-da-da-da, and you, it's like, hold on. I know you may have not been appreciated in your previous situations, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you a lot. This is just one area that is concerning for me, and I want us to talk about it. It works.
Say that again for me. I'm trying to take notes. I said, say it again for me. I said, I'm trying to take
Men thrive in celebration. Men thrive in celebration. Y'all need it. And I can say that as women, it can be very difficult. If you got a list of like 8 things you really need that man to do, if he's doing 4 but not the other 4, typically as a woman, you're going to focus on the 4 that he doesn't do. But if you want him to do those other 4, you got to celebrate him for the 4 he doing. Like, men, y'all need it. Y'all need that celebration. Like, yes, baby, I love that you did this. Yes, you get this right. He's going to do those other 4. But once you focus on the 4 he's not doing, he's going to feel underappreciated. And for a black man, once you make him feel unappreciated, he cannot thrive. He can't.
Yeah, I think for black men, we like kind of exist in underappreciation. We just need, you said it's 4. I think we just need 2 to feel appreciated in.
Hold on. Say the first thing that you just said.
You said
about y'all do what in underappreciation?
You said we exist in underappreciation.
But guess what? Your relationship should not be a space where you are underappreciated.
Oh, most
If
definitely.
you are
Most definitely.
unappreciated out in the world, at your job, whatever, as a woman, my priority needs to be that in this relationship, you are appreciated. And I think men should not just accept the fact that men are underappreciated. Y'all
No,
cannot
but-
thrive that way.
But as black men, I think that's where we've not where we come in a place of life, but I think that's where we are.
Mm-hmm.
We don't expect that, but we was like, okay, if she likes me for this and that,
Mm-hmm.
oh, that's enough.
Nope.
She don't have to see what I'm trying to do over here,
Nope.
and here.
Nope. Y'all need to start putting more expectations on these women and stop marrying these women that don't appreciate you. Put that expectation on her.
Now I don't know about marriage. All I know is about relationships. All I can say is that I try in all aspects of life. Some places I falter, some places I excel.
Mhm.
But as long as I'm being seen in certain places, I don't necessarily have to be seen in other. And most of my relationships, I feel like I only been seen in the places where they think I'm supposed to excel, but they never see. You said they supposed to see 4 places, right?
I just used that as an example.
An example. Okay, so
Eight.
eight in total.
But they
Because
only
our
see
list
4.
be long.
If they see me in 4, that's cool. But I feel like they only see me in 2, so I'm missing a whole nother 6 in which I.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So
Why ain't no
when they
relationship?
only
That's
see you
because
in a
unappreciated.
2, but when
Exactly. That's what I'm
but
saying.
when you're only appreciated for the 2, do you communicate before crisis comes that you don't feel seen?
No, because most of the time I don't see crisis. Most of the time it's like smooth sailing for me until it
don't be
becomes a
smooth
crisis.
sailing for her. You got to be more in tune.
I try to be more into.
Okay, see.
You
More
should
in
put
tune.
pressure. You should put pressure on people when you're looking for a partner. And this is for all the men listening. If there's anything your woman should have, it's an appreciation for you. A lot of times men do themselves a disservice by being like, well, at least she got this, this, and this. But if she does not appreciate you, you cannot be fulfilled in that relationship. And there will be some part of you that, again, cannot thrive without that appreciation.
So tell me this. This is something recently that I think I searched for in an individual is communication.
Oh, I love it.
I missed it.
And understanding.
I
Now,
like that.
Now let me explain that. Like
Mm-hmm.
communication is something that we have developed over time. It's something that so I communicate this way, I communicate this way. Oh, this ain't working with this individual. Okay, I adjust this way.
Mm-hmm.
It might not work for that individual at the time, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm at least adjusting. I get to a certain point in my life where I'm used to communicating in a certain way. It works for most people in my life.
Mm-hmm.
For all around, for the most part, they get me. It's like, okay, he communicates this way, and these relationships are flourishing. But I reach a certain individual and I say, hey, this is how I communicate.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, okay, I want you to communicate this way. And I say, okay, I'm going to try to communicate this way.
Mm-hmm. So
Instant,
how did they want you to communicate? I'm very curious.
they wanted constant communication. Like,
Oh,
hey,
so when you say communication, it's more like touch points.
touch points. So, hey,
Like
I got
on
this
the
going on.
phone. Okay.
I
Yeah.
got this going on. This is what's going on. This is what's going on. For me, in this certain situation, I was never used to that because I've gotten to a certain point in my life where communication has been like, okay, I got this going on. Let me figure it out. And then let me touch base. Let me figure it out. Then let me touch base. Let me figure it out. And I'm repeating this for a reason. And then let me touch base. Most people in my life they've gotten used to that. situation, they've gotten used to how I communicate. They've gotten used to the frequency of communication. Now this person is like, no, I need you to communicate this way. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna communicate that way. But for 30 years of my life, I communicated this way.
Mm-hmm.
So a situation happens where she's like, so you kind of get it.
I got it. I'm into it.
So she's like, hey, no, I need constant communication. And I'm just like, okay, I tried in this situation to constantly communicate. I fall short. I apologize. I fell short. I'm going to try. Boom. This happened. Oh, you didn't communicate how I wanted to communicate. I was like, okay. I missed that. I tried. But I'm used to this communication. But I haven't said no. I haven't said I won't communicate your way. I said just give me a little bit of time. Because I'm used to communicating this way. Does that make any sense?
Yes.
Are you saying
Okay.
expectations?
So all I'm asking for is like, what I say? Understanding.
Yeah, which is like grace. You want give me some grace. Yeah. But I think when I hear that, I think about, do I have the capacity to communicate consistently like that? And then why do you want me to communicate so much? But at the same time, you know, I'm a little different. So, you know, I think that's okay if that's her expectation. But did you have the capacity for that?
For me, I had the capacity. I just am used to communicating in a certain type of way. I'm used to saying, like I said, that communication. I figure stuff out first, and then I communicate. The way she wanted it is she wanted to communicate
Be a part of
to
it.
you, communicate to her while I am figuring it out.
I think that's honorable in a way. Is that her saying, I want to come alongside you as you figure it out?
Yes. And I understood that. I was like, okay, I understand that. But hey, walk with me for a second.
Yeah.
I'm not used to, and I apologize to the listener if this is more abstract in a way, but I'm trying not to go into details. Maybe someday I'll go into details, but not right now because it's still very still
fresh.
It's hot and fresh.
Yeah, we got it.
And so, welcome to my heartbreak. No.
I love it. It looks like Mr. Black Cup done messed around and I'm not used to him being quiet and shaking his head yes when I talk. So I'm going to take that as a win tonight.
You got it.
Yep.
I want to thank y'all for joining us. Trey is most definitely excited that y'all joined us on this occasion. This has been Heartbreak State of Mind. I have been your outroist, KC, here with my friends, LaMarcus.
Can't wait to do it again.
LaShawna.
Always ready.
Trey, wherever he may be. And Kennedy joining us most definitely on the next episode. We can't do it without her. Let's go, Kennedy. We are out. Heartbreak State of Mind. Thank y'all for joining us. We back, y'all.